big needles for breakfast, dinner and tea, because that's the way this life goes. Hello and welcome. My name is Ingrid Wagner and this is a big Tunisian crochet hook. No, it's not a surgical implement, it really is a big Tunisian crochet hook, and we use it for making lovely interior textiles like this one. And it's using a very basic, or the most basic, Tunisian crochet stitch. I think we maybe have done something a little bit different to it, not quite sure what, but anyway, we're going to show you what we've done. It's very, as I say, it's very basic, very straightforward, and we're using 5 strands of this wool. We do normally use a big knitting yarn, and that is, I'm just going to show you a sample of that. This is about probably a couple of centimetres wide, and it's the selvage of industrial weaving, which would normally be thrown away as waste. But this particular stitch looks great when it's done on straightforward yarn. So 100% wool and 5 strands together, and we're going to use this surgical implement and the wool to show you how to do the basic Tunisian crochet stitch. So let's get started. Right, so Tunisian crochet, and we are going to look at the stitch here on this lovely bed runner. Okay, so we're going to make a slip stitch to start with. So that's lay the short piece over your left hand. We're using 3 strands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strands of white wool per 1 stitch. Okay, so lay the short end over your palm, take the long end in your right hand. Sorry, this is a right-handed teaching here. Pop it over your palm, tuck it in a loop. Alright, hold on to the loop, take the whole lot off your hand, pull the loop and the small end together, and that gives you a slip knot, which means that you can tighten or loosen the knot on it. Alright, so that's your first loop, or your chain, as it's called. Stitches in knitting and chains in crochet. Okay, so we're going to make, just for the sake of showing the stitch, we're going to put on about 10 chains so that I can show you the actual stitch. But you put on the number of chains that you want for the width of what it is you want to make. So if you want to make something that's very wide, then you will put on the number of chains that correspond to the width of whatever it is you're making. And that's where Tunisian crochet is a cross between knitting and crocheting. So if you're making, let's make and keep them loose. So we're making about 10. Let's see how many we've got there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll just do 14 on there. Okay. Alright, so you have 14 chains along here. Now what you're going to do is, I think you call it a single crochet, but we're doing this. Take the yarn over, hook it through once. Now leave it there. Do the same for the next one. So what you're actually doing is picking up all of the loops, all of the chains as you go across. Keep it nice and loose, and you're doing the same thing again. And this is the picking up row. So you're putting the the hook into the chain, take the yarn over and hook it through. Okay, keep it nice and loose. And you do exactly the same thing when you're going across all the way to the end, and you can see why we need that tube on the end. If you're making a double bedspread, for example, this is just 14 chains here, but your double bedspread might need about, oh, I don't know, about 50 chains or something, and that's where you would need the length. You would need the length of the crochet hook, so it allows you to do something very wide. Okay, so we do now. I call this a step up. So you'll do exactly that. It's like a single crochet. All right. There we go. Right. Now we're going to get rid of those stitches, and you do it like this. Put the yarn around and take 2 stitches over and out. Take the yarn around, 2 stitches, just pick them up and take them over. You can lift them one by one if you want to. But actually, if you've kept them loose enough, you should be able to just pick them up and take them over the top. And one of them, there we go, it's starting to make a pattern already. And over. And take it round. The only thing with working with about 5 strands of yarn is that you do have to make sure that you take everything, all those 5 strands with you. Alright, all the way to the end, and just getting rid of those stitches, okay? So you can see that one of them has actually started to do a line going over the top, a bar going over the top. Alright, do your single crochet again at the end, stepping up to the next row, I call it. Alright. Now, to do the next one, what some people do is go into this stitch here, but we're not going to do that. If you roll the crochet slightly forward, you'll see a stitch going almost sideways. What we're aiming for is to keep this bar here at the front. Okay, there we go, and that's the bar at the front. All right, you're keeping that there. So that's a good guide to tell you whether you've actually gone into the right part of the stitch. So there we go. We're going into that, take the yarn round and pick up the stitch again. Alright, and there's the bar at the front, okay? Roll it forward slightly and look for that. There you go. Go into that and round and over, and there's your bar at the front. So when you roll it forward, you can see there is a bar going over there and then one going sideways almost, and that's the one that you want to go into. That's it, and there's the bar, and there's the sideways one. I call it the sideways one. You call it whatever you like. There we go, and there's your bar going across. That's it. And once you get used to the fact that you've got 5 lots of yarn to pick up, there you go, there's the bar. So if you roll it forward slightly and find that lot of yarn going sideways,
and then you'll always be able to check that you've got the bar there. There it is, running sideways. And take it round and over. There you go, and you've got the bar always. Now you see there where I haven't got the bar, so I'm going to just take that back. It's a good way of checking. That's it. Okay, alright, so I went into slightly the wrong one there. That's it, there you go, and there's the bar. Once you see it, you can't not see it really. And you can do it in, we haven't tried it in different colours yet, but you could do it in different colours if you wanted to. This is in 100% wool, and it's rug wool that we're using. If you wanted something lighter, you could try it in knitting yarn. That would be perfectly okay. You have my full permission to do that. That's it. And then make sure you definitely do one at the end, because otherwise you've got to keep that edge straight. Alright, so you can see there are all the bars along there. Alright, step up one. I don't know what you call it in crochet terms. Alright, and then you get rid of them. That's brilliant. That's great fun. Look, you just get hold of them and take them off the end. And you just keep repeating that, so you keep picking up and you keep then casting off. And I'm sure that's where the difference, the reason why Tunisian crochet is sometimes said that it's a cross between knitting and crocheting. And there are some countries in the world that specialise in this, and there are lots and lots of different things that you can do with Tunisian crochet, but I'm trying to keep it just basic, straightforward and easy, and just keep it to the basic stitches. There you go, you can see how the pattern is already forming. We've done it in a darker cream than this one, but there's your bar running across, and that's exactly what gives you this lovely pattern here. So you can see the difference in the different sorts of yarns that are used, and I think it's just an absolutely lovely pattern. So so there you go, that's what our basic Tunisian crochet is all about. And as ever, you know, if you do want to purchase one of these crochet hooks, you can do it straight from us at our website.
Well, I hope you've had a good time learning your Tunisian crochet stitch. I certainly have. I love this stitch, it just looks great. And that is the completed article. That's just a cream as compared to a white, but you could work it in any colour you wanted to, really. I think it happen to think it looks great in white, and when you've got the hang of it, it's just really straightforward, and it repeats. And do you know, I think that's what's at the bottom of all learning, all good learning, is that practice and practice and just repeating. And you don't have any complicated pattern to follow. It's a very simple, straightforward stitch. And you can see, you know, we've done it this wide, but actually, and that's 20 stitches, I think. But if you wanted to do the single bed runner, it's about 40 stitches, double bed runner. You can see how wide you can go on it. So what are you waiting for? Happy big Tunisian crocheting. For breakfast, dinner, lunch and tea. How about dessert? That's free to finish. Sweet as sweet can be. Big knitting. I could eat spoonfuls of it every time.